Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about Activision. Bobby Kotick discussed Microsoft, Elon Musk, Neuralink, and they hinted at a Guitar Hero reveal in his leak interview. If you like what we do here, please make sure you share, like, subscribe. We do these live streams in the morning, 10 o'clock in the morning to about noon Eastern. And if you're watching this after the fact, I do appreciate you. Make sure you hit that like button down below. You can also leave a comment down below what your thoughts are on this article as well. So, all right, let's get to it. So we're gonna scroll down here to the future gaming trends of Activision Blizzard culture. Okay, and it says Activision gaming community is amongst the most passionate in the industry, with huge dedicated audiences across the titles like Call of Duty and World of Warcraft. Okay, James Gordon asked how Kotick, is it Kotick or Kotick? I'm gonna say Activision Blizzard leadership will retain its culture, which Kotick repeatedly describes as magic and special during the discussion. Kotick emphasizes his belief that Microsoft wants to acquire the company for that magic, represented in the 15,000 plus staff with Activision predicting that Microsoft will seek to maintain moving forward. He says, quote, I think a lot of Activision motivation is that these enormous communities of players of 400 million people in 190 countries around the world who are engaged every single day, Kotick continued. I think people at Activision feel an incredible sense of responsibility to deliver for the players. And so I think that's that recognition and the appreciation that the focus will reward the joy of hundreds of millions of people. And he could sling some shit, huh? So changing gears a bit, Kotick was asked to look ahead of the future of gaming and what he could mean that Activision and Microsoft as the firms team up. Now, Kotick discussed machines learning and AI, but also emphasized the needs to hire more writers, more actors, to meet the growing expectations of gamers. He also surprisingly name-checked Elon Musk's brain interfacing Neuralink as a potential way of interacting with video games, like Twilight Zone, which is also described as more visceral, medium of movies and other entertainment media. He says, Kotick says, if you look at the new technologies that are in the horizon, we're going to be able to do things that we have never done before with AI and machine learning. The quality of the graphics are now elevated to a place where it's going to need more writing talent and more acting talent because we won't be able to accurately fulfill the expectations of the players. Now, Kotick continued, games are always very different than films and television. In film and television, you are successful by creating a connection that emotional between you and the audience of our experience are more visceral. But that is changing. We have characters on screen in video games who with mouth movement and facial animations that are realistic, and you're going to have to do new dimensions of emotional connection that were not yet mastered. This is good points, right? So we talked about a couple of articles months and months ago where people came out and said, where do AAA games go, right? They're going to hit a wall. This kind of gives you a little insight of what they have to do to keep it going. But again, that wall's still out there, right? Even if you do this more engaging with the AI, facial recognition, visceral, with the Neuralink chip or whatever, there's going to be a point where that becomes the norm, and then you're going to want to go above and beyond that. So, like, what is that going to be? So it's very interesting to see where gaming will go in the future. Now, the next section is future tech, machine learning, and Guitar Hero. Okay. Kotick also discussed technology innovations, mentioning how mobile devices took gaming from fairly expensive middle-class pursuit in development nations to early days to the global phenomenon, right? Xbox lead Phil Spencer often talks about Microsoft's goal to reach all of the world's 2 billion gamers, and the mobile devices will naturally form part of the strategy. However, Kotick was also interested in discussing future tech such as Elon Musk's Neuralink as well as VR. So Kotick says, I talked a little earlier about the physical experiences and interacting with something on screen. I think you'll see things like Neuralink. You'll actually be able to interact with things on the screen, where there's also isn't a control. Kotick also continued that it might be like a Neuralink, but also an earpiece or a headset or some other type of sensor. Kotick also begins discussing how Microsoft researchers could aid with this pursuit while heavily hinting at Guitar Hero. Okay. He says a big part of what we've seen with Microsoft is research that they also develop in areas that are extraordinary. And so being able to tap into that AI and machine learning capabilities and data analytics. That's the key word there, the data analytics. Okay. So new ways of thinking about graphics. I just see unlimited potential for what we do, Kotick explained. We're uniquely situated as a company because we have a very best franchises in video games. Kotick also looked ahead in the next 10 years of gaming. We're missing that also transformative titles from Activision back catalog like Pitfall, River River Raids, and Kaboom. Of decades past, Kotick also name-checked Guitar Hero, hinting that it's currently on path to be a revival. Okay? The reemergence of Guitar Hero and other things would not also be possible without the different types of resources and so on. You know, the endless possibilities of the future, that's just incredibly exciting. Now, Kotick signed off by presumably referencing machine learning graphics technology like DLSS and enable lower power devices and access more immersive visuals, typically associated with higher-end gaming PCs and more expensive gaming laptops. The accessibility, he says, is going to come from less and less inexpensive or less and less expensive processing that will also be more widely available and inexpensively available. It's going to create more and more opportunities for amazingly talented people that we have here. And this is what's happening with Epic Games and other right? Where I said this example a couple days ago with video editing. Back in the day, video editing machines you couldn't even own. They were in big schools and studios. They were rooms, size of rooms to edit with film and whatnot. And then it came down to smaller systems. By the time that I went to school for filmmaking and learned about editing, we were in the between stages where we learned to edit with film, and then we also learned to edit with actual digital. And now you can download an editing software on your cell phone or your computer for a minimal price, sometimes free. Right? There's subscription models free where it used to cost tens of thousands of dollars, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars to have an editing machine. And now it's in a pocket of everyone's, it's in everyone's pocket that you potentially want to do it. Right? So it is interesting to see that the technology that's happening now where Epic is making, let anyone become a game developer, where you can use those tools, and there's other creation, or I shouldn't say creation engines. There's other engines out there that let people create for nothing. And then they take a cut later. So the next session is a done deal. So Microsoft and Activision are a natural fit, essentially, with the similar goals when it comes to online-based community-oriented service games. But Activision Blizzard also shores up some Xbox's biggest shortcomings. Microsoft's top competitor enjoys decades of nostalgic global recognition franchises, dating all the way back to the 80s. Microsoft was relatively late to the console game and suffers because of it to some degree, among other well-documented and often self-inflicted reasons. Now, Activision also has many of its own difficulties in recent years as it seeks to maintain its leadership positions with games like Call of Duty, despite intense competition in the space, shifting users' behavior, and also rise of new markets and mobile gaming giants. Even Activision's range of challenges and also challenges Microsoft and will also inherit still. There's also far more reasons to be excited for the future, in my view. Thanks to the Xbox Game Pass, Microsoft is creating one of the most high-value subscription services on the planet as the battle for attention rages between streaming services, social media, and traditional gaming. Now, Microsoft also seeks to crack open Apple and Google's duopoly on mobile platforms, which could see a wave of innovation flood the space in much of the same way that Steam fostered on PC. New technologies and Microsoft find itself embedded in, like AI, will also have some as of yet undefined roles to play here. So for Activision and Xbox gamers, though, the status quo isn't enough. Fans want to see franchises like StarCraft, Guitar Hero revived, and games like Call of Duty and World of Warcraft to be improved. While others are demanding the more steady cadence of high-quality content from Xbox itself, expectations are high, and the competition for time and money has never been fiercer. The opportunities are real, but the challenges on the horizon are also very too real. So there you go. Some actually really good stuff that Bobby Kotick is saying. That's probably the best things that came out of his mouth in, I don't know, in probably a decade. So it's interesting to see. It's interesting to see where the industry is going to be going. I've said this multiple times, that technology is exponentially getting faster and faster. Some of you that are in this chat or watching this after the fact still believe in that model of physical games will never go away and we always need a console. And that's just not the case. Going to the future, right? This is like looking back in the old days and someone going, horse and buggy, nothing can beat horse and buggy. Someone's like, I made a car. They're like, what's a car? They're like, we don't even need horses anymore. They're like, that'll never happen. And then here we are where, besides the Amish, no one's using horse and buggy. Okay? Or in a third world country, they're doing that. Technology, I went to NASA one time, and they said the room that launched the rocket to space, okay, was our phones are 1,000 times stronger than what did that in the 60s. Okay? And the more and more, the faster we go, smartphones have only been out since 2007. So it's been less than 20 years, okay, since we've had smartphones. But it feels like at least to most of the majority of the population, okay, that they've been around forever, okay? But since 2007, exponentially getting faster and faster. Technology for video games is getting better and better. The consoles are getting smaller and smaller, more powerful. Cloud gaming, people say it'll never happen. It's going to happen, okay? I don't know how fast. I said 6 years. Within 6 years, it'll be the majority, not the minority, but we'll see what happens in the next 6 years. So let me know what you guys think. What do you think of Bobby Kotick's comments about AI coming in and the Neuralink and where the graphics are going and how they keep people engaged in video games besides shows and film? Let me know in the comment section down below. These are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below or on the live stream right now. I appreciate you very much for watching. Please make sure you share, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching.